Hey, peace family, peace family. I'm not going to give you my usual opening. Let me give you the title of my commentary. I'm going to try to keep it from being a rant. I'm going to try. Anyway, commentary on Black Fathers based on Insecure Season 5, Episode 3. Now, normally, y'all know I would be doing a review of Insecure. And, you know, one of the main reasons I do it because it actually hits on real issues in the community. I'm gonna tell you what, like the way I usually do it is, you know, it's like, come on, 10 o'clock Eastern time. I'll sit there and watch it. I don't take any notes. And then I'll look at it again in the morning and then take my notes. Usually I'll tape it or something. Now it was interesting this morning because I was making a video for my Patreon. And usually I had the music on in the background and it's coming from the TV. As soon as I turned the TV on, it's still on HBO. The episode was right there. The episode was right there again. So, okay, I sat through it again. And it hit me different from even last night. In fact, it's one of the few times I screamed at the TV. So this was hitting on some deeper level. Now, I'm not really doing a review. I'm not going to go over step by step what happened. But it was the overall general theme of it. Because you had, you know, from last season, a situation where Lawrence, the character Lawrence, got the character Condola pregnant. Now, her thing was she was almost telling him as a courtesy. She was planning on raising the child by herself anyway. He was basically, I mean, just the way she was, and even in this episode, you know, it's like my baby, my baby, my baby, right? And you know, starting out, it was when he started out the episode, Lawrence was on a date. He get a text and he told the woman, it was like, wait a minute, I'm about to have a baby. Something like that. You know, he's up in San Francisco. He gets down to LA and, you know, he goes in the hospital room and, you know, Condola's in there with the baby and with her ghetto ass sister, Keke Palmer, acting all funky, and her mother in there, right? And, you know, the sister acting all trifling, even made a little crack about him. I ain't gonna lie, I yelled at the TV, because if I happened to be in that situation, I'd have cursed the bitch out. That's how, and I was like, damn, because you know me, I stay calm. And then really though, like I said, I ain't gonna go over specifics of the episode, but the general theme was, Lawrence wanted to be more in the baby's life. He wanted his son's life. I mean, they started out naming the son, and apparently they had talked about names, but at the end, they named the child without his input. Now, it wasn't a perfect situation. No, he wasn't in the same city and stuff, but he wanted to, you know what, he wanted to do his best. He wanted to do his best, especially he's living in a different area. His career is finally taking off and stuff. And, you know, he had to travel down. And the only disagreement I would have is if I'm in that same situation, I would be in the same city with my son. That's the only disagreement I had with him. But even then, he was trying harder. And I'm going to tell you what, why I even get it, I'm thinking about it, because this goes beyond that. Because what was the image shown in this? What was the image shown? And I guarantee there's going to be some trifling ass sisters try to say, oh, he a deadbeat, he's this or that. Hold up. First of all, there was no real discussion of her getting pregnant. In a day and age when women have 32 forms of birth control and everything, even if they want to have a baby, you need to talk to the father. And see, one of the things that hit me was, I've seen this situation before, particularly with Black fathers. Now, before I get into it, because I know there might be some detractors, some say, oh yeah, he probably did that. Anybody ever say some shit like that to me, I'll beat the shit out their motherfucking ass. I don't care who it is. Because, okay, well, like with my situation, I always talk about my co-parent and everything, all right? One of the reasons we get along, and I'm just sharing this to let you know mine, because I know how people are, but it's a bigger situation. But for my personal thing, one of the reasons that me and my co-parent get along is that She has zero interference of me dealing with my sons. In fact, by our divorce agreement, I have unlimited custody. We both do. We share it. And they spend as much time with me as they do with her. In fact, we spend holidays together. She'll be sitting on this couch for Thanksgiving and Christmas. We have Christmas and Thanksgiving dinners over here. We do things as a family. Even though we're not technically married, we still behave as a family, and it's really about our sons. Because Black fatherhood means everything to me. Fatherhood means everything. And like I said at the recent self-improvement summit, and anybody tell you, I say I have zero respect for men who don't take care of their kids. And that's me. And even somebody hit me up with one time, like, a criticism was like, oh, well, Rom's living in that apartment and stuff, because it's 10 minutes away from my sons. And anybody say that to my face or something, understand my biggest thing is always being in your children's lives, right? I'm 10 minutes away from my sons. Yeah, I could live someplace else, but it's right away. And that's why, like I said, me and the co-parent are real cool, because there was no fight. It was like whatever issues we had, boom. Because it's important for a father to be in the life. And even with that situation, let me hit you on something bigger. We always know there's always some shit against Black fathers. We always know there's some stuff against Black fathers, even though the Center for Disease Control has done studies, got a study saying Black fathers are the most involved. But then when you come back to this and you're looking at this situation on here, it's actually happened a lot. I've seen this over the years. A lot of times somebody, you'll see a single Black woman, or shoot, even in some situations where it's a woman of another race, the father ain't around. Everybody's like, oh, the father's a deadbeat. He's trifling. Man, fuck that shit. Nobody's saying about how many of these women out here just see the man as a sperm donor. Or how these women say, oh, I'm strong, I'm independent and everything. I don't need that man. Like I said, there's 32 forms of birth control. Ain't no excuses. Ain't no fucking excuse. And a lot of women do that. A lot of professional women do that. A lot of so-called educated professional women do that. And I'm saying, I've seen it because my main, like I said, fatherhood, my main thing. But when I see it on a greater scale and I don't see stuff happening, or men, or, the children aren't there, oh no, it's some bigger thing. I told people, I used to work in the criminal justice system. I used to work at it. When I was in DC, there were times where I'm going down to Lorton Prison. I don't know what it is down there now, but Lorton Prison in Virginia, where, and talking with these guys, the overwhelming majority of them didn't have a father in their lives. And I saw it, I'm seeing it personally. And you know something else I've seen? I've seen plenty of women. It's talked about in the Black community, because, people always putting down the Black father. But where I live, I see plenty of white women doing it. I don't know what's up in the Hispanic or Asian community, but that situation, you see the single parent, it's like, yeah, well, they being good. The father's a deadbeat. No, the woman only wanted that man's seed. In fact, I got a video coming next week that's going to be talking about that. And it's ironic this thing came on. But you get a lot of them. You get a lot of professionals. You get some women, they want that seed bad, but you know what? They don't really want the father in the life. They want the baby to themselves. And I'm seeing this situation, yeah, it's fiction, but it happens a lot. Now, Condola and her family, they acting all trifling. They ain't taking the input from the father. And they gonna call him a deadbeat. I was like, hold up. Did y'all approach him and say, hey, y'all gonna, you need to help with the son? No, they didn't. And that happens a lot. I've seen it. I've seen that personally. There might be some people who see this video, some women say, oh shit, Rom, don't call my name. Some women, they want that baby so bad, they'll just find some man, he looked decent enough, have the baby, then find a way to kick the father to the curb, or even keep the father away. And you got some women out here, they will have the baby, not even tell the man that he has a child. But they'll say, oh, that trifling man, he ain't in the picture and stuff. I'm like, fuck that. Fuck that. Because here's the problem. Remember, I just said I worked in a criminal justice system. Now, okay, let's use the example from Insecure. Okay, because one of the things that happened at the end, they realized, Condola and Lawrence realized, okay, this ain't working out. Because there was a scene, Lawrence wanted to take the child, Isaiah, up to where he lived, spend some time with him. I mean, he had put in a crib and everything. And he's trying his best. But she decided she didn't want to. And she said to him, she don't trust him. Oh, you trust him enough to gap your goddamn legs open and let him bust his nut in you, though. And a lot of women are like that. But they just want the baby. The baby. I had a very good friend. You know, he had that happen to him. He trying to do everything. I've known some men. I knew one brother, right? One brother, he was staying in a home with this woman he did not like, but he had a baby. He said straight up, he didn't like the woman. But he said he wanted to be there when his daughter had any problems in the middle of the night. There are thousands of stories like this, millions of stories probably. You know, and especially as a black man. Now, I know I got people of other races looking at this, but I'm seeing this. And you know, and then like I said, anybody who see me say, oh, well, you did, man, fuck you. No, anybody check my IG or something. I spend most of my time, free time with my sons. And that's why I know it's that important. That's why I know it. But you know, that image, what kind of image they got about black fathers? But they ain't saying, well, what the woman doing? And like, let's say hypothetically, yeah, this is fiction and stuff, but this is happening in the real world. Now say hypothetically, the Lawrence and Condola say, let's just use it because it's an archetype of what happened. Let's say Condola and, you know, her ghetto ass sister who near her throat slashed said, well, we don't want him in the life. We'll do it. We'll be the parents and stuff. Then when that motherfucker is a teenager and knocking somebody over or killing somebody or doing something, doing some wrong thing, where was the father? And nobody's want to say, well, hold up, you kept the father away. Or you didn't even tell the dude he was a father. And that shit, no. Because I'm going to tell you what, any children, I don't care what the status is of the parents, they still got to deal with it. The children need that father. And you know what? You got a lot of black fathers. Yeah, you do got some trifling black fathers. You got some trifling white fathers. Probably got some trifling Hispanic fathers, Asian fathers. But then everybody focus on them. People ain't focusing on, like I mentioned, I knew this dude, he was willing to stay with a woman he didn't like just to be there for his daughter. And I know plenty of men like that. They ain't feeling the mothers like that, but they say, you know what, it's not about them. These are black men, you know? And like I said, I guarantee some people are looking and say, well, Lawrence should have did this, Lawrence should have did that. Yeah, but then if he wasn't making money, had a job, which if somebody brought up that part in the show, he'd probably been like, look, I got it. What do you need? I mean, dude was like, look, whenever you want to come down for something. And then, you know, there was a part in there, Condola said, well, there was an emergency. We had to do all this. And what were you going to do and stuff? And yeah, it was tough. But shit, you still let him know. So, I mean, I'm like, shit. Seriously. And then people might say, well, it's just a show. No, it's not just a show. This happens in the real world. I guarantee people somebody, you know somebody who's going through this, some fathers. I know a dude, he not even sure this a particular child is his. Friend of mine. I remember it happened and stuff. Now, the child looked just like his sister, but the woman's like, oh no, that's not your baby. You get some trifling ass women, they selfish because it's my baby. Yeah, and then until the motherfucker do something wrong as an adult. And then he was like, well, where's the father? Well, shit, you kept him away. And then if the father he's wrong if he tried to go to court and try to do something, trying to paint him wrong. Man, fuck that shit. I'm gonna tell you what, though. It's something to really think about. You know, it takes two to make. Kids out here, they need both parents. And this is something I said at the past summit. I said it. I don't have any respect for men who are not there for their children. I have zero respect. I tell them to their face. I don't care. You find a way. If you got to say, you know what? We gonna go to court, And I give it to Lawrence at one point. He kind of hinted he was going to do that. He suggested he was going to go there. If you got to go there, go there. You got to be ruthless about it because it's about that child. You got to be there for it. But then you got a lot of times the father trying to be there, but the mother wants some stuff. They want some rotten stuff. And, you know, Condola, for someone who's supposed to, she mentioned parents, but I didn't see her father in the picture. And I'm just saying, and that happens a lot. That happens a lot. You know, you get a bunch of women who thinking, oh, we can raise the child, we can raise the child. Yeah, basically, shoot, and turn them into some, because they don't have their father's input in life, they growing up all emotional and everything. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you what, somebody said, well, Ron, why you into it? I told you, I worked in the criminal justice system. I've been sitting in like, jail interview rooms with some guys and they just say their father isn't there. You know how many, like even what I do now, you know how many young men, I mean, one time I made a thug cry and I wasn't trying to go in on him, but I was being there for him and I told him some stuff. He cried. He said, you know what, nobody been in my life. You know, the mothers thinking they can do something. Don't want the fathers. Oh, you don't have to marry them, but at least have them there for you. You know? And I'm serious. And I say, man, I watched it. I couldn't even write any notes for it. Shit. And like I said, I got some smoke for anybody who tries to say, well, it's just Lawrence. No, it'll take two to tangle. It take two to tangle. She could have been at least like, look, this is what's happening and everything. And then if he didn't step up and try to do something, then he trifling. But he trying his best. Indeed, shoot. The only thing I would have said was, okay, maybe he needed to find a job closer to there, but that might have been hard. And he's doing his best anyway. Sometimes you can't, because then if she need money for something or she needs something, then she hitting him up. If he don't got it, oh, well, he a deadbeat. Damn. Some fucked up shit. Yeah, like I said, and I'm gonna tell you what, it needs to be really looked at, you know. Because there's plenty of situations where, yeah, you see these single parents, you see these single mothers and everything, right? And y'all know I don't go in on single mothers, but let's be real. Sometimes, hey, every now and then, the father just trifling. But a lot of times, especially in the Black community, per the Centers for Disease Control in a study, a government agency, and their study, a lot of Black fathers are there. Even if they ain't married, they're going to try to do something. You know, I remember I'm out and about one time with my sons at a mall and everything. You know, we just going to the restroom real quick. I'm walking by a young father. He got his 3 kids right there. And, you know, and I just said, what's up? You know, it's like that dap. You see him and everything, you know? And so you got this image on like a major TV show. And like I said, I guarantee people will be looking at him because it was one part. And I say I wasn't going to go over scenes, but you know, Lois was snapping at her. They had a party or something, and you know they having an argument because she just, you know, he gave the child some food, but she like some solid food, and she wanted to do it on something else. And then that bitch ass Derek going there, he gonna take him to the side and try to say, oh man, fuck that motherfucker. Like Lawrence called him. He said, look, man, that's a different situation. Seriously, father's trying to be there. He's trying to show some guidance. And look, I'm going to repeat what I said. I've worked in the criminal justice system. I've seen all these young men. I've dealt with a lot of young men. People don't realize in the real world, when I get away from this, I'm mentoring a whole lot of young men. A whole lot of young guys hitting me up directly. You know, I have a very good friend of mine. He about to have another child and stuff. But he's there. He's always there for his children. He's always there for his children, even though he's not married to the mother. You know, I'm seeing all this. People hit me with it. I've seen the results. Because another job I used to be working diagnostic probation too. Like I said, I worked in the criminal justice system. And a big problem is a lot of these guys, the fathers ain't there. Now on the surface, people will say, well, it's the fathers and all of that. But then you start digging deeper. The mothers didn't want them there. The mothers thought you get women talking about they can be mother and father. No, you can't. No, you can't. And then when the little boy grows up, he's trifling. He's doing all this stuff. Oh, where was the father? But the same women, they take credit if that boy does something great. Ain't that some funny shit? And this is bigger. Like I said, this is bigger. You know, I'm gonna tell you what. I feel blessed with my co-parent. Like I said, I can go over there right now. I can go over there right now, see my sons. They over here. They spend a lot of time over here. Shoot, they keep. Trust me, if I showed you the whole place, they got so much stuff over here because this is their home and stuff. And I say, like I said, no problem with my co-parent because there was no issues there. But then when I see, my heart breaks. My heart breaks. That's why you can call this a rant. I don't care. My heart breaks when I see other young men who are trying. I know one dude said, look, if I got to sleep out on the tree, I'm there for my child. There's a lot of guys like that. A lot of guys like that. But then the women, they get all sad, maybe get it up in the court system. I'm like, man, fuck that. Nah. So, look, I'm gonna tell you, and I hate to come like that. Because I said, I don't think I can do a regular review of that thing. Because it represents a bigger issue. In fact, that's why I review the whole series. All the relationship stuff represent something bigger, you know? No, Lawrence and Condola, no, there ain't gonna be no relationship, but this is a child. This is a boy child, you know? And you got, there was one scene in there, Condola's ghetto ass sister, which makes me question if she was a 92. I thought she was. Talking about having the baby kind of faking like he walking or something, talking about a crip walk. Yeah, if he walking in with a jail uniform on, Lawrence was a trifling man. Lawrence came from a good family and stuff, and it would behoove any woman like that, if she have a child by him, to bring his family into as much as possible successful family, because it ain't about the personal feelings, it's about the child. And that's ultimately what it's all about. A lot of what I do is about the children. If people really listen to me, I'll talk about players and stuff. I'm talking about using the player skills for family to get in a relationship, not to be a player, but using the skills. That's what my book, Nice Guys and Players, is about. And then the father thing, I'm gonna just say this. This is why I'm so fired up. That's my proudest thing. Like I said, people who follow me on IG, they'll see more pics of me hanging out with my sons than they see me with some women. And I have zero problem with that. That's the thing. I always joke about my sons being my heart. And then when I talk with other fathers especially, it's something. It's something. And really universally, one of my buddies at a local grocery store, he a white guy, redhead, white guy, we just be talking about the kids. And honestly, he be having some shit with the mother of his child. That's why we just click. Me and him just click. That's my boy. You mess with me, he got my back better than some troll ass motherfuckers or some so-called brothers. But we clicked over just being that father and stuff. We click. You click. That father's universally. Even though I said black fathers in the thing, fathers universal. And there's a lot of men, regardless of race, even if they ain't dealing with the mother or have issues with the mother, they're going to be there for their children. Even if it's a case, somebody got to drop the child off at a neutral place. That's why you got a lot of fathers. Hey, you know what? You take them to court and everything, boom. I remember one of my boys, he had a child in another country, in the islands and stuff. And I remember the child's up here with him now. And the child actually lives with him now. His daughter lives with him now. And I remember what he was saying. He was going to do whatever he needed to do. And this was a straight player. In fact, I've said that before. I've seen some real players. They get that baby girl, they change up. That's the fatherhood thing. So when I saw all that, I was like, you know what? Spirit just moved me. And for me, and I know it because anytime I wake up, I turn on the TV thinking I'm about to turn on like my jazz station and something, and I'm seeing this. I was like, man. And I said, I felt something. Because y'all know Ron be cool and calm. But yeah. And I just had to have that commentary. Look, if y'all got a problem with it, whatever, it be in your best interest. If you got a negative comment, I'm just going to tell you now, it's getting deleted, depending on how it's said, blocked. you know? Seriously. And I just had to share that. I just had to share that because I'm gonna tell you what, everything I do now, fatherhood for my sons. You know, and I know too many other men, regardless of race, who doing the same thing for their children, you know? And when I saw, you know, just the theme of that, Lawrence trying to do his best. Lawrence was just trying to do his best. They could have did something. Like I said, she want to do this and that. She is not a man. And like I said, she supposedly had a parent. I don't see her father like helping out. You know, and there's a lot of that theme. There's too much of that in the real world. That's why I'm even like fired up over it. People might say, oh, it's just fiction. Please, please. You know, there's a book I always talk about, Money Issues in Black Male-Female Relationships. He had several pages of the real deal when you see some of these single mothers. The real deal. Ain't always the father was a deadbeat or something like that. Shoot, some of them even lucky if they didn't even know they had the child. Because the mother's just thinking about themselves. Or women getting somebody and then finding a way to kick them to the curb. Or, you know, some like known hoe, you know, having some, getting a child with a known basketball player or something like that and then going to divorce him immediately afterwards. Shit. Nah. This is, nah. And I just had to say it, all right? So that's all I got for now. Y'all check it out yourselves. Y'all check out the thing yourselves and stuff. Like I said, I couldn't give a regular review on this joint, all right? So that's all I got for today. Talk to y'all.